strategic importance of the media in nation building and in deepening democratic governance. Indeed, this gathering reflects our collective resolve to ensure that the media remains the cornerstone of Nigeria's democracy. As we gather here, under the banner of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, it is fitting that we pay tribute to those whose foresight bettered this noble initiative. Permit me to make special mention of Malam Baba Dantiye, MON, MNI, FNGE. He was the president of the Guild in 2004 when this idea of holding an annual editors conference was bettered. Malam, thank you very much. What began as a modest idea in 2004 has now grown into a national institution, a vital forum where editors from across the country converge to exchange ideas, examine issues of governance, and contribute to shaping the direction of our great nation. I wish to acknowledge with deep gratitude all past presidents of our guild who have sustained this tradition of annual reflection and engagement. The theme of this year's conference, Democratic Governance and National Cohesion, the role of editors, could not have been more timely. Our democracy, though resilient, continues to be tested by insecurity, economic hardship, misinformation, and declining public trust in institutions and government officials' intolerance sometimes to press freedom. In such times, the role of editors becomes even more critical. As custodians of information and interpreters of events, editors shape public opinion and set the tone of national conversation. Our decisions, what we publish, how we frame stories, and the voices we amplify have far-reaching implications for democracy and unity. Democratic governance flourishes only when citizens are well-informed and when the media acts as a credible, independent watchdog. Editors must therefore defend the sanctity of truth, insist on transparency, and hold power to account, not as adversaries of government, but as constructive partners in the pursuit of national progress. Similarly, national cohesion requires that we rise above divisions and use our platforms to promote understanding, tolerance, and shared values. The pen must never become an instrument of division or hate, but a tool for healing and bridge building. Our editorial judgment must always reflect balance, fairness, and patriotism. The media is recognized constitutionally as the fourth estate of the realm. Under Chapter 2, Chapter 2, Section 22 of the Constitution, empowers the media to uphold the fundamental objectives of state principles and hold government accountable to the people. The media is also a veritable development partner. But for it to work effectively and perform its role, Mr. President, sir, the media must survive as a business. Without economic sustainability, our constitutional and social responsibilities become ineffectual. Therefore, we seek legislative and executive assistance to help balance our business, to make our businesses viable with our public duty. Your Excellency, Mr. President, the media today is distressed. Most newspapers, television houses cannot pay salaries. Not because they're not doing well, Your Excellency. It's because the components to perform their duty, the cost of producing them is prohibitive. Let me share with you, Your Excellency, the one I'm most comfortable with. I'm a newspaper editor. I work with the Vanguard. A ton of newsprint in Nigeria today costs 1.3, 1.4 million. And it lasts just 1 or 2 days. And if a newspaper is to survive in a month, Your Excellency, buying newspaper alone wipes out all the profits. We're not even talking about other components, which are all dollarized and imported. We're talking about ink, we're talking about plates. I will go to the broadcast sector later. At the end of the day, Your Excellency, your government has been working so hard to provide jobs for the people. If the media cannot keep jobs by paying people their salary, they cannot help our democracy. So that's why we're happy you are here, Your Excellency, to help us intervene to save the media industry. And we have a couple of ideas which we want to put before Your Excellency today. I will share them with you, sir. Let's talk about tax deduction for media advertisers. No, let's start with corporate tax relief. That's for between 5 to 10 years, which will enable media houses to stabilize, meet operating costs, and sustain their watchdog role.
All other governors here, all members of the Executive Council, particularly the man who dragged me here, Mohammed Idris. He was so passionate and committed. He dragged Dele Alake with him to the office. I said, Mr. President, you have to attend the Guild of Editors conference. Right? I'm here. All the former state governors, leaders, members of diplomatic corps, President, Nigerian Guild of Editors, is there another? That was quite interesting. And the esteemed members of the Guild. Our royal fathers, thank you for being here and consistent inspiration to all of us in defense of our democracy and the future of this country. You have always been there patriotically with commitment and valuable suggestions. Thank you, Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, the captains of industry, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. If I look back at the time I first assumed office and the way you all dealt with me, over subsidy removal, quote unquote, the floating of our exchange rate, removing the arbitrage, the corruption in the society, and the opportunity blocked against rentier economy. We should celebrate that one today. that the tunnel of darkness and the headwind of the economy is getting better. It is my privilege to welcome you to the State House. This is for free. It's your house. This year's annual conference of Nigerian Guild of Editors. Your presence here reflects the enduring importance of the media in shaping national direction and strengthening democratic life. I commend the leadership of the Guild for sustaining the tradition of reflection and professional engagement. The theme you have chosen, democratic governance and national cohesion, role of editors, invite us to reflect on the state of our democracy and the way in which public discourse can either strengthen or weaken the bonds that hold our nation together. This conversation is necessary as we continue to build institutions that are transparent, resilient, and trusted by our citizens. Throughout our history, journalism in Nigeria has been more than a profession. It has been an instrument of national awakening. From early newspapers that challenged the colonial injustice to the principled voices that kept hope alive during the dark days of the military dictatorship. And at this junction, I must say thank you, Aremon Segun Osoba. I thank you enough for the commitment, dedication, patriotism, and partnership that we all shared there. The Nigerian press has stood at a critical point in our nationhood to defend reason, dignity, and progress. Many journalists endured intimidation, detention, and personal hardship in defense of the public good. Their sacrifices are part of the foundation upon which our democracy rests today. We honor them not only in memory, but also by remaining committed to the values they upheld. Yet, freedom secured through struggle is not self-sustaining. It requires constant vigilance and reasonable exercise. A democracy is sustained not only by elections and laws, but also by the integrity of the public conversation. This is where your role becomes central and indispensable as last man standing. As editors and managers of the national information space, you shape narratives, you influence public understanding, you decide what becomes national focus and how our collective challenges are interpreted. The weight of that responsibility is extremely significant. It must be exercised with wisdom, fairness, and a strong sense of national duty. Nigeria is a large, as you know, and diverse country. Debate and differences are part of our reality. However, disagreement must never translate into erosion of national cohesion. Criticism, when informed and constructive, is a service to the nation. But cynicism that breeds mistrust and despair can weaken the very foundation of the society we seek to improve. The national interest must always remain paramount. We live In a time when information travels rapidly and widely, social media has made every citizen a potential publisher. This has benefits, but it also increases the speed and scale of misinformation. Falsehood can take root before truth has time to speak. In such an environment, the editorial function is more important than ever. Verification must be your anchor. Balance must be your principle. And professional judgment must be your guide. I urge you, therefore, to continue upholding the highest standard of journalism. Report boldly, but do so truthfully. Criticize government policy, but do so with knowledge and fairness. Your aim must never be to tear down what we are building together, but to help build a better society. On our part, this administration remained committed to securing our nation, sustaining economic stability, and widening the circle of opportunity for all citizens. The reform we have undertaken have been challenging, but they are designed to place our economy on a strong and enduring footing. We have taken steps to restore macroeconomic balance, encourage investment, and build confidence. The signs of progress are visible in several sectors of the economy. Still, we know there's more work to do, and we remain focused on ensuring that growth translates into real improvement in the daily lives of all Nigerians. However, economic reforms and institutional improvement alone cannot build Nigeria we seek. Nation building requires cooperation, it requires trust, it requires a shared understanding that our future is tied together. Government has its role to play, the private sector has its role to play, civil society has its role to play, and the media has a distinct responsibility to help shape a climate of reason and unity. I ask of you, therefore, to continue to exercise that responsibility with the seriousness and honor. Let us choose clarity over confusion, responsibility over recklessness, and hope over despair. Let us remember that the stories we tell ourselves as a nation and as a people influence the country we become. I've listened to the request of the chairman of the guild. While with the full write-up, noted that the corporate tax relief, part of the reform, VAT exemption for media tax credits, affordable loans from BOI and DBA. Establish development grants for digitization. Repeal laws that inhibit press freedom. Discuss it now. Highlight it if you know. I, as your president, endorsed its proposals. Media and safety data will be our phone. distinguished editors, your work matters. The tone you sent in your newsroom. I watched the tone on some channels recently on Alhambra election. Before the result, is that here? Vote buy. Vote buy. Who is selling? If there is no reason to complain, let's be cheerleaders. It's our country. It is our country. We are going to be discussing the value charter from here. What should be worrisome to you is the image of the country you project over the outside world. How well your institution is making effort to build a nation of credibility with integrity that is required. Yeah, we may be poor. Poverty is not going to be our master. We are going to come out of it. Yes, we are challenged by terrorism, banditry, and others. We recognize that. Are we doing something about it? Are we inspiring the armed forces? Are we encouraging them to fight? They put their lives on the line to defend the national sovereignty of this country. It is our responsibility. Take it as part of laundry list of discussions here. Your request is in my pocket. Follow up as I wish you a constructive, thoughtful, and fruitful deliberations. I look forward to the outcome of your discussions. Thank you. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. I declare the conference open.